So, after half an hour of rubbing a glowing ball and talking to a cow, you've decided to go talk to Krauch? Didn't the cow tell you to speak with the devil?
Yes, Amy. The cow inside the glowing ball told me to talk to the devil, because the devil is the only one who has the clearance to overrule an archdemon's command. And Krauch, who made the mistake, is an archdemon, just like me, so I can't tell him what to do or say. So, as it stands, we'll have to talk to either Krauch or the devil. Let's clear some things up so I don't have to hear your bleeding anymore. Look, you're still struck by confusion after spending all those aeons in the abyss. I know what it does to a demon, to float around in perpetual darkness and disillusion. You lose touch, and you become willing to accept just about anything for a whiff of life or solidity. But in case you hadn't noticed, this isn't anything like the heaven you fell from. I mean, look around. What do you see?
Okay, I see your point. I suppose I've been a bit optimistic going into this.
Bork.
Oh, the pain.
Okay, I really do see your point. But why are all the animals defecating blood?
Some things you just don't want to know.
Now come on, let's get going before the bureaucracy closes.
And then he looked at me with those judgmental eyes. You know the eyes he usually gives people? And I was all like, hey, if you're not going to let me snail trail across the garden path, I don't want any part in your celestial hierarchy. I heard Michael the Archangel wears a thong under his suit of armor. Did you hear about that? One of the virtues told me, well before the fall. Anyway, I can totally see it. I just know Michael is gay. By the way, I caught the guy who drew me out of like the spawning pool, looking at my ass. It kind of exciting, I'll admit. And then I told her I'm actually an empath, but she didn't believe me, which was cause for concern. Did you ever meet her when you were in heaven? Gah, such a bitch. Seriously. I think my ass got fatter after spending time in the abyss. What do you think? Does it look bad, or did my time floating around in perpetual dissolution give me some more shape?
Wait a minute. I think I've figured it all out. It's all meaningless.
Oh,
Feminine
none of
intuition,
it
blah, blah, blah.
matters.
Insights beyond male comprehension, blah, blah, blah.
Nothing matters
Blah, blah, blah.
anymore. It's all
Blah, blah, blah.
chaos.
I used to be an interior designer.
Oh, my head.
Blah, blah, blah. Unverified information regarding blah, blah, blah.
Wait a minute. If it doesn't matter, I don't have to listen to any of it! The ignore button!
Some people just don't get what it's like to be a woman. It's like nobody ever takes anything you say seriously.
Okay, you can shut up now.
Behold, hell's bureaucracy.
So you're telling me this entire ultra-ginormous megalopolis is a sprawling bureaucracy?
Yes.
Aren't there other types of jobs in hell?
Not many.
But where does the food come from?
Bread lines.
Wait, you're telling me I rebelled against God for bread lines?
bread lines? I don't think you've quite understood the gravity of the situation.
Who's the clown?
Bread lines are the least of your worries.
Mommy, it's scaring me.
You haven't seen the horrors beyond compassion.
Yep, we've all made some mistakes. Now come on, Krauch's office is right around the corner.
Yes? Hello, sir? No, we cannot go through with it. You must sell all the stocks immediately. Wait, no. Let me check my ether communications device. I was so fatigued. Okay, yes, all the bars are red now. Only 5 minutes after I made my first decision. We must now buy all the stocks. Buy them all indiscriminately because my device told me, what do you mean it's a bubble? What do you mean we've inflated our economy through meaningless transactions adding to our GDP but producing absolutely no value for anyone but ourselves? Wait, hold on. The bars agreed. You must sell all the stocks now. That's right.
Attention, hellincorporated.gov. This is a public service announcement. Bonuses will be given to those who work as fast as possible. Every ounce of adrenochrome you produce goes to aid the war effort against heaven. Satan promises promotions. And, as always, remember, here at hellincorporated.gov, we're family.
Thank God it's over. Amy, before we go in there, I just need you to know something.
What?
You're not oppressed.
What do you mean I'm not oppressed?
What I mean is that we're about to enter the office of an archdemon, and I just need you to know that you're not oppressed, okay? Just tell me that you understand what I've said.
Okay, fine. I'm not oppressed.
Good. Here we go.
Oh, Doodlebug! Forgive my impotent rage. You startled me. Please, come in. Oh, and by the way, I hope you like the ferns. I thought that the death and decay would spruce up the office a little bit. Hope you like them. So, Doodlebug, what can I do for you today? Oh, watch the ferns. There was a discount on them and I seem to have bought a few too many.
Yeah, nice. I need you to reassign Amy to another archdemon, and I'd like you to check the records and see where Julie is. You remember Julie? We spoke about her on the phone.
I have absolutely no recollection of telling you anything about a Julie, but tell you what, I'll check my big fat stack of papers here. Just give me a second. Alright, let's see what we have here in my big fat stack of papers. Purina Pro Plan Blended. No! Silly me. That's my grocery list. To add the vegetable kind. I'm trying out a vegan diet. She must have missed that. Alright, let's see. Wish list. Huh, she must have put the wish list with the... Wait. Squeaky toy. Where's the rope? I told her specifically to put the...
Okay, alright, your wife's a bitch. We get it. Can we just not forget why we're here right now?
Oh, yes. How silly of me to let my marital conflict spill over into my work. Oh, there's the list. On the floor next to a bunch of other stuff I raked off the desk during my fit of rage. Oh. Okay, let's see here. But Doodlebug, it says here Amy's supposed to be with you.
What about right here?
Oh, no. Don't look at that. It's been crossed out. It's not part of the system anymore, so it doesn't exist.
But it's a paper. Couldn't you just make a new list where Julia isn't crossed out?
Orgone energy on the map.
You wouldn't get it. You just wouldn't get it.
Are basically just diddly bobs floating around.
You wouldn't get it, baby. You just wouldn't get it. Now, listen to my voice take you away on a voyage.
It's a flavor. It's a taste.
Orgone energy on the map.
My head is becoming more
stick
and
it in
more
you.
unscrewed every single
Back and
day.
forth.
It doesn't have to make sense.
I do it to you.
Maybe it was never supposed to.
You
make
didn't
sense.
necessarily want
consider
this,
that?
but it's happening anyway.
Maybe it does make sense, but it's all intuitive. It's... What the hell was that all about?
What do you mean, what was that all about? You just stared into space for 2 minutes as if you were receiving some type of divine download. Now, as I was saying, Doodlebug, you're gonna need to grow up and face the facts. The rules are the rules.
Oh, come on. That's not the first time I've heard that.
I think Doodlebug might be right. I don't see why you can't just draw up a new paper, and I don't see why you deny Julia's existence. You wrote her name right on the paper.
Amy. You're still new around here, so I'll let your childlike ignorance pass this time. Now, you two are dismissed. I need to get back to throwing a tantrum about my missing tug-a-rope, and I don't want you two interrupting my flurry of rage.
Well, I guess that settles it then, Amy. We're gonna have to go all the way to Hell's Throne.
Now that I'm looking at the cluttered mess of putrescent garbage and cluttered notes on my desk, I see here, Amy, that you haven't had your HR-mandated compliance and coercion training course. Here at hellincorporated.gov, we have rigorous standards for our new employees.
Oh, yeah, no, that's all been taken care of. It's fine. It's all under control. I gave her the course myself.
Very funny, Doodlebug. You've always been one for cracking jokes, but you know very well that I know that you know that I know that you don't have the clearance to give her such training. You don't have the Course 5 Archdemon badge that one received specifically for spending a week at HR's headquarters watching videos of corporate Memphis art take on multifaceted shapes, colors, and sizes of all the various demons that exist here in hell as you listen to a bitter old hag with no empathy ramble on about the virtues of sensitivity. Do you?
Nande.
That's what I thought. You're dismissed, Doodlebug. Amy, you're forced to stay for your compliance and sensitivity training. Before we start with our forced compliance and sensitivity training, I'd like to welcome you to the family. Here at hellincorporated.gov, it's not just a slogan. It's a mantra, repeated daily, ad nauseum, until you start repeating it mindlessly without questioning what a family actually is.
Please, have a seat somewhere on the floor. Oh, mind the sharp shards of ceramic scattered across the room.
My rage flailing must have swept my fetid coffee mug off the table. Funny how that works. Anyway,
let's move on to your compulsory compliance and sensitivity training.
now! If you look here at this board, you'll see I've added a picture depicting a bunch of crudely drawn geometry and what appears to be different types of demons collaborating around something too abstract to begin to comprehend. Now, look closely and you'll see a very important detail.
I wonder if these indecipherable shapes hold any sort of meaning. What does the triangle mean? Is it a metaphor? Is the circle an occulted secret that I'm just not intuitive enough to understand? Wow, this whole thinking thing sure is hard. My insecure female mind has been thoroughly bombarded by this jumbled mess of loopy nonsense to the point where it's begging to have a male authority figure sweep in and tell me what to think.
That's right. The demons come in different shapes and colors.
Now, if I turn the page here, you'll see another mess of screaming colors and disjointed shapes that an artist spent 4 years studying at a university to produce, only to be replaced by a machine that thinks asking for a man in a red suit means rendering a horse.
As you can see, the demons depicted in this picture also come in different shapes and colors. Very important. I want you to note that.
Sorry, I didn't bring a notepad or a pencil.
But that's quite alright, Amy. I just want to drill this into your head as we turn to the next page. So, as you can see here, we're looking at a schizophrenic hobgob of different graphs and charts.
Let's first look at the pyramid drawn in the middle. This pyramid represents power.
That's right, hierarchy, one of our biggest threats. And don't get it twisted, Julia, this isn't heaven.
We don't believe in kindness, strength, responsibility, competence, or intelligence. Traits that
typically place an individual at the top of any given hierarchy, no matter the species or entity that practices any of these virtues, as has been thoroughly demonstrated by studying both primates, angels, and humans. Hierarchy is just a silly fiction that anyone loathsome enough to be chained by their own vices at the bottom of the pyramid clearly doesn't like.
Indeed, hierarchy is just a patriarchal social construct. The reality is that the world is a chaotic bureaucracy enforced by the pride of democratic violence, and that no one could ever admire, love, or respect you for anything virtuous you ever do. Therefore, one must seize power through means of wanton violence and coercive manipulation if one wants to succeed. Just like Cindy, when she steals my lunchbox from the refrigerator.
That scheming little...
It makes you think about how it's, some sort of subliminal message, you know?
I get the feeling you have a lot of rage pent up against the women in your life.
That's correct, but I dress myself like an onion beneath layers and layers of stinky plausible deniability that lets me pose as an ally toward women while secretly harboring a homicidal rage. Anyway, if you look here, you'll see a pie chart depicting various colors. If you look closely, you'll see that grayskins hold the majority of the pie. This pie is very much like the pyramid. It represents power, dominance, and coercion. As a newcomer to hell, it may not strike you as obvious, Amy, but you, being purple, are in the minority. And, being a woman, you're in the minority of minorities.
I never really thought about pie charts, dominance, and coercion until now.
Good. At least you're thinking about it, Julia. But I'd like this thought to grow into a paranoid obsession. You see, Julia, I hate to break it to you. Indeed, it really saddens me. But you are oppressed.
I'm oppressed?
That's right. You see, due to the color of your skin being purple, other people hate you. I know, I know. What a wicked, cruel world to have spawned into. But according to HR, it's absolutely true. And HR never lies, Julia. HR never lies.
Whenever people see you, all they see is that you have a different complexion in them. And absolutely no other reason we don't need any
understanding to see this. All we need to do is project our own insecurities, hatreds, and fears onto the other demons around us. But there is a sunny rainbow at the end of this understanding.
It's Amy, but what's the rainbow?
I'm glad you asked, Julia. The rainbow at the end of our understanding of your oppression is that you are morally exonerated from all your actions. This means that you are free to kill, steal, lie, and destroy your surrounding environment because you are oppressed. And really, all you're doing is destroying your oppressive environment. Doesn't that sound a little enticing? A little tantalating? Titillating, perhaps?
Now that you mention it, it does sound very seductive to be able to do whatever I want without any consequences for my actions.
Great! I'm glad we had this little talk, Julia. You're dismissed now. Oh, and don't forget that Doodlebug is a grayskin. He hates you solely because you're purple. Have fun with your new instructor.
I'm not going back to jail. I got crystal meth in my pocket.
She came from Krauch's office. He's involved in HR.
And that's when he knew he'd kerfuffled the whole smidgen. He'd been shaking and baking all the wrong ingredients. He'd been caught with a bag of crack in his hand. When he's gonna crack bang, he's gonna crack bang. When he's gonna crack bang, he's gonna crack bang in his hands. And he's gonna crack bang, he's gonna crack bang in his hands. And he's gonna crack bang, he's gonna crack bang in his hands.
Why did everyone run away as soon as they saw me?
No reason. Stop looking at me like that. Hey, come on. Let's go see the devil before Krauch comes out of his office.
They must have fled because I'm purple.
It's easy to tell that she's a pro. This girl is getting out of control. The boys on all ear hair peaks and jumps as she wiggle with her hum. Like a butterfly, she shines, reaching up to the sky. So easy to tell that she's a pro. This girl is getting out of control.
Ah, yeah. You stuck around. You get the bonus episode. You get to guess. You get to guess. The sound. Guess the sound.
Ow, shit, ow, fuck, it's stuck. Okay, sorry about that, my finger got stuck in the microphone stand.
Test the sound. Test the texture of the sound. that sound very odd. That's harder for me. My name is Ulrich and I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm just plain old gay.